Hey, what's good everyone? It's CJ. We're back at it again today. Today we're going to check out a brand new sample pack I just released on frequency.com called Dark Matter Volume 2. Volume 1 received well over 8,000 downloads, so I appreciate everybody that showed support and checked out the pack. In any event, I picked out one sample today that we're going to use to make a beat with. The link to download this sample pack will be put in the description of this video, as well as in the cards right here. So feel free to check it out. Let me know what you think. Shoot me some feedback via Instagram. You could follow me at CJ Beatz NYC. Okay, so it's 150 BPM. I'm just going to loop off that 16 bar section and let's have a listen. Sorry. So let's go ahead and add I'm going to add an ultra beat to this in multi-output, and I'm going to use my drag and drop samples. All right. Sorry, you probably hear me chewing. I wanted some candy. All right, here we go. So I expanded that multi-channel output. Basically, what that allows me to do is just route the different samples into different channel strips, so I can add more to them, like effects, etc., EQs, whatever I might feel like in that moment. So I'm using drag and drop samples because we're going to use our own samples for this, not any stock sounds or anything like that. Some third-party samples. And yeah, so first things first, we're going to try to find some samples here. So what I like doing is just like playing back the sample and then listening in to find the right sample. What's nice about using Ultra Beat in a multi-output or Ultra Beat in general is that you can use 32-bit samples. For those of you that might be using FL Studio, you like browsing through your sounds fast and importing them into FL Studio to use them. And you could essentially do the same thing here. So I'll show you how to do it in Logic. So I'm going to come down here, hit Load Sample. I'm going to go to the drum kit that I want to use. And if I select one of these samples here, let's start off with maybe some hi-hats. Let's go to hats. If I hit play, I can preview them. I like that one here. That's in 32-bit, as you can see. So once we have that said and done, I can start routing these now to my channel strip. So I'm going to come over here, just select where I want to put this. I want this as a stereo sound, so let's select the first stereo sound, which is channel strip, I should say, which is right there. Okay, you can actually, once you got these in here, come down here and change the velocity and the gate on them. I like alternating my volumes a little bit for hi-hats. It sounds a little more humanistic this way. Is that a word? Humanistic? I don't know. But there we go. There's some swing there. Come into the full view here and see all the samples. Now that we have all of them like selected, we can go ahead and send them to either stereo output channel strips or mono. My kick, I always want mono. Then the perks could be stereo, so we'll put this one on 5 and 6, this one on 7 and 8. And let's see what this is. The clap also 9, 10. So now if I play these back, they should play on these different channel strips. So this one I still need to select. Let's do 11, 12. Alright, so I like the fact that they're nice and hard hitting, but it's definitely causing some distortion on the stereo output. So I'm just going to drop in a soft clipper on this. And I made a tutorial about the soft clipper. I basically took a distortion plugin, which is the overdrive, and then created a soft clipper out of that. And this basically allows you to still have like hard hitting drums without it, going too crazy on the master channel. See, it's still all -5. It's not peaking. Let's continue drawing up this drum pattern here. So I'm gonna try and find the clap. The clap's gonna drop on. Let's see where the clap's gonna drop. Simplicity is always key. Don't overdo it. Now that we have that, I'm gonna start coming in here with an 808. For the 808, I'm gonna use a EXS24 in mono, and let's select an 808 that I like using a lot. It's called the Hennessy. And for the 808s, I just generally use a keyboard and try to come up with something that would match, something that fits that rhythm so far. That up, quick quantize. What I like doing is also getting all of those same volume levels up. Most importantly, when you're making beats, you gotta feel that shit. If you're not getting goosebumps, like right off the bat, put that shit in the trash. I'm kidding, but you know what I mean. Like, you gotta really feel that shit. heard something like that little what the fuck is it called? You know, when the 808 goes up an octave and comes back down, maybe we could add like a little bit of glide to that. So if I'm just gonna come up here and change my glide to like 69. That's a little better. Send me the money. All right, so maybe I want to, you know, change it up a little bit as the beat progresses for the drums. So the pattern that I have right here, which is the first one, I just created one pattern. I can drag and drop this right into, you know, into Logic and then start coming up with an arrangement. What I like to do is like drag it out like this, hit join. If you can't find join at the top, you can always go to bounce and join and hit join, and that's just going to create one large MIDI file out of it, basically. All right, so now you got your pattern right here, and now we can go into like making the hi-hat maybe a little more interesting, and then we're gonna use the brush tool. I'm gonna select like maybe a 16th triplet or something. Find the right spot for it, obviously. I think right there would be fire. Maybe even a little faster than that. Could try something like this maybe. Now if they're too loud, you can just, you know, bring them down like this. Again, simplicity is key. I really want to stay away from making beats that are too crazy. It's got too many change ups, too many hi-hat rolls and whatever. You know, a little bit is okay, but don't overdo it, because you want to inspire the artist to, like, you know, drop their own shit on top of it. So if you overdo it, I really learned the hard way, man. Like, I've been making beats for years, and it's like every time I feel like the beat's not done, is because the artist hasn't, you know, done their thing on top of the beat. So you always got to leave room for the artist. Like, make shit sound fire, but don't overdo it. That's what I'm trying to say. Now we can maybe have a little bit of a change up in the 808, the way it ends. I'm always listening and trying to come up with a different idea as I'm making the beat, you know. I always hear it in my head first and then lay it down. So let's go ahead and just loop off this section right here. this will be like sort of the hook, I guess, or the chorus for it, or maybe a pre-chorus or something like that. I want to give it somewhat of an arrangement so that, you know, the artist could like feel like, all right, this needs to come here, this needs to come there. After that's done, the beat's pretty much done. We're gonna add an intro maybe to it and call it a day. Let's fuck up this, you know, the sample a little bit here in that window. Maybe we could do like some rhythmizer or something like that to make it sound a little different. And I'm gonna use a bank I made for this called Gravity Bank. If you haven't used Rhythmizer yet, it's basically the equivalent to like Gross Beat for Logic users. I've made a whole bunch of preset banks that you could download from frequency.com. Put a link in the description in the cards right here if you want to check that out. But yeah, it basically does this to the sample. I'll let you hear it right now. So there's different filter sections, but let's turn the filter off and just use like some of these presets, these time presets. See, that's fire. Now you could actually drop another one of these on there and use like some sort of halftime effect or something. Let's see. So what I do want to mention though is like if you're going to use Rhythmizer, I always cut the low end off a little bit because it creates some low end. Alright, if you hit A on the keyboard, you can get to your automation, and that's basically going to tell Rhythmizer like when to turn on and when to turn off. So just have it turn on when it drops right there. From over here, it's like 2 minutes long, so maybe, you know, if you want to have like a 3-minute song or something like that, duplicate it one more time. So it's around 3 minutes, 10 seconds. That's perfect. And we can select all of them, move them over by like maybe 4 bars or something. Let's cut a 4-bar section out of there and move that over. And what I want to do now is turn automation back on. So I want, you know, that automation to be applied to the intro. And then maybe, you know, fade out right before the beat drops. Fire. Now we just need, you know, a tag in there. I recently recorded my son saying CJ Beatz, so
CJ Beatz.
I was going to add that to the beginning and have the beats drop right when the beat drops. So the beats right there. Let's have a listen to the finished product. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Once again, Dark Matter Volume 2 is out now on frequency.com. Go ahead and download that. Shoot me some feedback. I'd love to hear what you guys did with it. CJ Beatz NYC on Instagram. Here we go.